What inspired you to come to a mining and minerals career fair?
Honestly, I was just kind of curious on what was happening over here, and then it was really interesting just to see everything that's going on.
And what was your impression of mining prior to today?
All I really knew was kind of from what I knew in playing Minecraft when I was younger. So I knew like there's a lot of different ores, and then kind of just like about the mining industry in general and just how it's really prominent in Arizona.
Do you still play Minecraft?
I do, yeah.
How would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers?
I would say a lot of it's probably negative just because there's like a lot of like harmful things that are done to the environment. But at the same time, it does create a lot of valuable resources for us.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest and 10 being definitely interested?
I would say like a 4. I would definitely want to be on more of the management side of it.
And have you learned anything here today that has changed your impression of mining?
Not quite yet, but I'm hoping to soon.
Sierra, what inspired you to come to a mining and minerals career fair today?
I've always been really interested in the mining industry itself. I feel like it gets a pretty bad rep, but I find it really interesting that the school has its own mine, the San Javier mine, and that it has a school dedicated towards that industry. So,
And what was your impression of mining prior to today?
I would say somewhat negative, not super like bad, but I would say that I don't know. I feel like I hear a lot of bad things in the media about it, but yeah.
How would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers, either here in Arizona or back home where you're from?
I feel like a lot of my friends don't really know much about mining. It's definitely more known here in Arizona than it is in California just because of how big of an industry it is here. But even then, I feel like it's not something that's really talked about much.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest, 10 being definitely interested?
I would say after coming to this event, doing something in PR or even journalism related to mining, I would definitely be interested, probably around like an 8 or a 9.
And has anything that you've learned here today changed your impression of mining?
I definitely think it's more necessary and serves more good than the media portrays it to have.
Okay, what inspired you to come to a mining and minerals career fair?
So by the geoscience major, I obviously like rods, but I actually didn't want to do geoscience. I wanted to do mining engineering, but I didn't have the credits for it quite yet. So I've always wanted to do mining. Mining's my whole thing.
What was your impression of mining prior to today?
Prior to today, my impression of mining was a guy in a dark tunnel going at it with a pickaxe.
And how would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers?
A guy in a dark tunnel going at it with a pickaxe.
Has anything you've learned here today changed your impression of mining?
Yeah, it's a lot more than just a guy in a dark tunnel going at it with a pickaxe. It's definitely a lot more. There's a lot more equipment. There's a lot more just science behind it and many other things.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest and 10 being definitely interested?
20.
What inspired you to come to a mining and minerals career fair today?
Well, my dad works for Penta Engineering, so I've kind of always been in I've been raised by an engineer, so everything is very logical, and there's order to everything. But so when my dad was on the mall, I was like, sure, I'll come check it out. But yeah, I've always kind of been in that world just because I was raised within it. So
Supporting dad. Awesome. And what was your impression of mining prior to today?
So I didn't really stop by many of the booths, but I know it's definitely a world where if you know a lot of things about like minerals and just about different elements, it is a world that is used in almost every aspect of life today.
And how would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers?
I think people think about it as it's just kind of like you mine for, I don't know, you play Minecraft, right? You think of it as kind of like that, but there's a lot of different mines. There's diatomaceous earth mines, there's copper mines, there's a lot of different mines for different elements and substances. But that's the thing, is that it's not just one specific thing. You can't put it in one category. But I'd say that a lot of people don't understand that there's way more to mining than just one thing.
And what was your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest and 10 being definitely interested?
So I actually looked into doing mining, but because I'm a physiology degree, I'm on the softball team. So for me, I kind of want to work with athletes, but I probably looked into it. I'd probably say I'm interested. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10 if I had like my interest, because I thought it was very interesting to learn about the different elements and stuff like that, and different like world. Like it's a whole different world, and a lot of people put it with engineering, but I'd probably say that it's kind of separate from engineering. You can go within like the engineering aspect of it, but it kind of is its own field, and it's very interesting, and it applies to every aspect of life today.
What inspired you to come to a mining and minerals career fair?
I wanted to just look around and see what type of opportunities are out there for me. There's definitely something new here every day, and so I thought I might take a look at this.
And what was your impression of mining prior to today?
I guess my impression is that it's pretty important. Obviously, I know that, well, most of our materials come from mining. You got to think of metals and things. But I guess my prior impression is that it's really important, but there's definitely room for improvement.
And how would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers?
I think it's just one of those things that you don't really think about. I think it's just one of those things that's going on in the background that's like really important, but it's just an everyday thing, so you're not really thinking about it.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest and 10 being definitely interested?
I'd say maybe like a 6 or a 7, just because as far as chemical engineering goes, there's a lot to do with materials. So I think mineralogy kind of comes into that.
And has anything you've learned here today changed your impression of mining?
Not so far. I still got to look around, but not so far.
What inspired you to come to a mining and minerals career fair?
Oh, my girlfriend works with the School of Mining and Mineral Resources, and she told me a lot of the information about the companies that were going to be here, and like they were going to be maybe like internship offers or job offers, so I was really interested in that.
And what was your impression of mining prior to today?
Well, I came to the event last year, and I think that's when I realized that you care a lot about your students, like the mining department. And I also, like, when I came to tour the university, like my junior year of high school, I did the mining tour, and I went to like one of your mining, I don't know, laboratories, I don't know what you call them, so I think it's pretty cool.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest and 10 being definitely interested?
I would say 10. I'm open to working in any industry, so I would be happy to learn more about it and give it a try.
And has anything that you've learned here today changed your impression of mining?
Like I said, I think it's very, it cares about their students, and also the mining like companies seem very interested in hiring like students from the U of A. So I'm happy to be here and see what I can find.
What inspired you to come to the Mining and Minerals Career Fair?
Honestly, just looking around here today, I really wanted to check out the different fairs and get more involved on campus, so it was nice to see this.
And what was your impression of mining prior to today?
Honestly, I didn't have a huge take on it, but it's nice to learn more about it here today.
And how would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure how I would answer that one, to be quite honest with you. I think I'd have to know more about the topic.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest or 10 being definitely interested?
I mean, to be honest, if I learned more, I would definitely raise, but right now I'd probably say like a 3 or 4, just because I don't know a lot on the topic, but I would love to learn more about it.
And has anything you've learned here today changed your impression of mining?
I have learned a little bit more. I've been looking at a few of the photos and stuff like that, so I've been learning more about it, so I have grown my knowledge in this field.
What inspired you to come to a Mining and Minerals Career Fair?
I have very interested in gems and minerals. I've been collecting a lot of them, and they've just been a very thing that I see interest in. The color, the look, and then also the cut of it. Everything in general about gem and minerals is just very interesting.
What was your impression of mining prior to today?
It looks I wouldn't say fun the right word, but it looks very interesting and something that we could probably improve on. But for now, it's a big thing. It's also makes things for us like silverware and utensils and furniture we use, and those little bolts. So it's very important, also very interesting.
And how would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers?
Hard-working and difficult. And yeah, and depending on what parts you're looking at it.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest, 10 being definitely interested?
I say like a 7.9.
Spoken like a true engineer. Has anything you've learned here today changed your impression of mining?
Of what I know about mining, probably a few things, but nothing too big.
What inspired you to come to a mining and minerals career fair?
First of all, I am part of the mining team, so I definitely love this community. I think it's very diverse and it has a lot of opportunities for everyone in different majors, which is something I really admire from them. I think there's a space for everyone in these mining career fairs, and it is a great space to network too. And you meet a lot of cool people that know everything about mining, so yeah, for sure, that's something very nice.
And what was your impression of mining prior to working with the school?
Wow, for me, mining was something very technical, very focused on just science and rocks and things that I would never know about. And then I started working for the school, and I realized it's such an open field, and yeah, I think it grows, and everything is related with mining, and I didn't know that. I thought it was just something far from here, something not related to me, but it is actually.
And how would you describe the general perception of mining among your friends and peers?
I think it's kind of the same. When I talk with my friends about my work in the School of Mining, they usually think it's not very focused on business and stuff, not really related, so they don't really find a way to get more into it. But then as I explain them, they realize that it is actually everywhere, and you can participate in mining too as a business major or as any major in general. So.
And what's your level of interest in a career in the industry on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being little to no interest and 10 being definitely interested?
I would say a good 9. I think it's a really good industry to work in.
And have you learned anything today that has changed your impression of mining?
I think, yeah, definitely. Most of all because every time I talk with someone in this field, they give me a way where my marketing skills and my system skills can relate with the field. So I think I've learned more about how I can be better and help this field to grow. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.